Britney Spears was arrested for driving under the influence of drugs and alcohol on Wednesday, March 4, 2026, at 9:30 p.m. in Ventura County, California, after California Highway Patrol received a call at 8:48 p.m. reporting a black BMW 430i driving erratically at high speed on the southbound 101 freeway. And this DUI arrest came just days after Britney Spears received a permanent restraining order against a 51-year-old Louisiana man who had stalked Britney Spears since 2013, and just months after ex-husband Kevin Federline published a memoir in October 2025 alleging physical altercations, knife incidents with their sons, and substance abuse during their marriage from 2004 to 2007. Today, we're breaking down the exact timeline from the 8:48 p.m. 911 call to Britney Spears' 6 a.m. release from jail on March 5, 2026, what Britney Spears' team said about treatment plans following the arrest, and how Kevin Federline's memoir release in October 2025 and a $200 million catalog sale in December 2025 led to the events of March 4, 2026. Let's start with what happened on the night of March 4, 2026. At 8:48 p.m. on Wednesday, March 4, 2026, someone called 911 reporting a black BMW 430i driving erratically and at high speed on the southbound 101 freeway in Ventura County, California. California Highway Patrol responded to the call. CHP officers followed Britney Spears for a while on the freeway and other roads before pulling Britney over near Westlake Boulevard in Westlake Village around 9:30 p.m. Fox News obtained dispatch audio from the stop. The audio includes officers saying, "Driver is out of the vehicle," and "just talking with the driver." Officers asked if they needed a Ventura supervisor to roll out. It's unclear from the audio if a supervisor was needed. CHP administered field sobriety tests at the scene. Britney Spears showed signs of impairment, according to the CHP spokesperson. CHP took Britney to a hospital immediately after pulling Britney over, not for injuries, but to draw blood for BAC testing. TMZ reports an unknown substance was found in Britney's car and sent for testing. The substance has not been publicly identified as of the research date. Britney Spears' black BMW 430i was towed from the scene. Britney Spears was booked into custody at approximately 3 a.m. on Thursday, March 5, 2026. That's about 5.5 hours after the initial traffic stop at 9:30 p.m. Britney Spears was released from custody at approximately 6 a.m. on Thursday, March 5, 2026. Britney spent about 3 hours in jail. The charge is driving under the influence of a combination of drugs and alcohol, according to the CHP spokesperson. Britney Spears is 44 years old. Britney Spears is scheduled to appear in court on May 4, 2026. Hours before the arrest on Wednesday, March 4, 2026, Britney Spears posted a dancing video on Instagram. The video showed Britney dancing in lingerie, censoring herself with heart emojis. This was the last post on Britney's Instagram account before the arrest. Following the arrest on Thursday, March 5, 2026, Britney Spears deactivated her Instagram account. The account handle, @BritneySpears, now shows the message, "Sorry, this page isn't available. The link you followed may be broken, or the page may have been removed." Instagram has been Britney Spears' main outlet in recent years, especially for solo dancing videos filmed inside Britney's LA area home in Thousand Oaks, California. The deactivation signals a significant withdrawal from Britney's primary form of public communication. Britney Spears' representative released a statement to multiple outlets on March 5, 2026. The statement reads, "This was an unfortunate incident that is completely inexcusable. Britney is going to take the right steps and comply with the law, and hopefully this can be the first step in long overdue change that needs to occur in Britney's life. Hopefully she can get the help and support she needs during this difficult time. Her boys are going to be spending time with her. Her loved ones are going to come up with an overdue needed plan to set her up for success for well-being. Britney's manager, Cade Hudson, gave a similar statement to TMZ. This was an unfortunate and inexcusable incident. Britney will take the right steps, comply with the law, and we hope this marks the start of long overdue change in her life. She needs help and support during this difficult time. Both statements use the exact phrase, unfortunate and inexcusable incident. Both statements emphasize Britney needs help. Both statements mention long overdue change. On March 5, 2026 at 7:34 p.m. PST, TMZ reported Britney Spears is willing to comply with a treatment and support plan. Britney's team is in early stages of developing a plan. The team is exploring multiple options, including mental health services, detox, and dual diagnosis programs. It's unclear whether Britney would enter inpatient or outpatient treatment. It's unclear whether Britney would enter treatment before the May 4th court date. Britney's team is hoping the judge mandates treatment over jail time. Now, let's talk about Britney's sons, because their involvement became public immediately after the arrest. On October 21, 2025, Kevin Federline published a memoir titled You Thought You Knew. Kevin promoted the book through interviews with Talk Shop Live on November 10, 2025, Entertainment Tonight, Piers Morgan Uncensored, and other outlets. The memoir contains serious allegations about Britney Spears during their marriage from 2004 to 2007. Kevin Federline alleges Britney slapped Kevin in the face while holding baby Sean Preston in 2006. Kevin called this the first time things got physical and wrote, "It wouldn't be the last." Kevin Federline alleges Preston and Jaden would wake up to find Britney standing silently in the doorway watching them sleep. "Oh, you're awake," with a knife in her hand. Kevin wrote, Britney would then turn around and pad off without explanation. Kevin said this story shook him the most. Kevin Federline alleges Preston felt neglected while Jaden received most of her attention. Kevin wrote Preston carried pain for years, including night terrors, need for constant reassurance, feeling he wasn't loved as much as his brother. Kevin Federline alleges Britney took Jaden horseback riding despite severe allergies. Kevin wrote, she continued feeding Jaden shellfish even after knowing he was allergic, brushing off concerns like it wasn't a big deal. Kevin Federline alleges visits with Britney eventually stopped. Kevin wrote, every visit seemed to end with her yelling about something. The boys became emotionally drained. Visits became less frequent, then stopped altogether. Kevin wrote, one night after another unsettling visit, the boys came home and said, we're done. During the Piers Morgan interview, Kevin was asked about writing Britney was doing cocaine while still nursing your boys. Kevin did not deny writing this in the book. Kevin Federline warned in promotional interviews, this situation with Britney feels like it's racing towards something irreversible. The clock is ticking and we're getting close to the 11th hour. Something bad is going to happen if things don't change, and my biggest fear is that our sons will be left holding the pieces. Kevin told Entertainment Tonight, I kind of have to sound the alarm that I truly feel that somehow, some way, I just wish that their mom would get help. Kevin stated the situation is 10 times worse than anything I've said in my book. Britney Spears responded to the memoir allegations on X, formerly Twitter, in October 2025. Britney wrote, the constant gaslighting from ex-husband is extremely hurtful and exhausting. Britney wrote, I have always pleaded and screamed to have a life with my boys. Relationships with teenage boys is complex. I have felt demoralized by this situation and have always asked and almost begged for them to be a part of my life. Britney wrote, "Sadly, they have always witnessed the lack of respect shown by own father for me. They need to take responsibility for themselves." Britney wrote about Kevin's book motivation. "Trust me, those white lies in that book, they are going straight to the bank, and I am the only one who genuinely gets hurt here. I will always love them, and if you really know me, you won't pay attention to the tabloids of my mental health and drinking." Britney's representative told E! News on October 14, 2025, "With news from Kevin's book breaking, once again he and others are profiting off her, and sadly it comes after child support has ended with Kevin. All she cares about are her kids, Sean Preston and Jaden James, and their well-being during this sensationalism." Globe magazine reported in March 2026 that Kevin Federline's memoir really sent her over the edge and impacted Britney Spears emotionally. The source stated, "She goes from being fine to being not. Downhill ever since Federline released the book." Now let's connect this to the $200 million catalog sale that happened 2 months after the memoir release. Days before the March 4th DUI arrest, Britney Spears was granted a permanent restraining order against a 51-year-old Louisiana man named Donald. The restraining order is in place until 2030. Donald must stay 100 yards away from Britney Spears at all times. Donald allegedly harassed Britney online since 2013. That's over a decade of alleged harassment. Donald's social media posts were described as disturbing, largely incoherent, and several posts could be interpreted as threatening harm. One specific post mentioned was "bullet hole heart." In 2025, Donald was arrested for trespassing after showing up at Britney's Southern California home. Britney's security guard spotted Donald and called the sheriff's department. Deputies found Donald shaking at the scene, smoking cigarettes. Donald exhibited odd behavior and made several incoherent comments during the arrest. Britney stated she has no idea who Donald is and has no relationship with Donald. Court documents show Donald has a long and concerning criminal history. In 2019, Donald had convictions for criminal trespass and aggravated assault. Donald was charged with burglary and harassment. Donald faced accusations of cyberstalking and DUI. So just days before Britney was arrested for DUI on March 4, 2026, Britney received a permanent restraining order against a man who had stalked Britney for over a decade and showed up at Britney's home in 2025. The timing suggests Britney was dealing with multiple stressors simultaneously. Kevin Federline's memoir from October 2025, minimal contact with her sons over 5 years, the catalog sale in December 2025, the stalker restraining order in early March 2026, and whatever personal issues led to drinking and driving on March 4, 2026. Let's bring this all together. Britney Spears was arrested for driving under the influence of drugs and alcohol on Wednesday, March 4, 2026, at 9:30 p.m. after California Highway Patrol received a call at 8:48 p.m. reporting a black BMW 430i driving erratically at high speed on the southbound 101 freeway in Ventura County, California. The arrest came months after Kevin Federline published a memoir in October 2025, alleging physical altercations, knife incidents with their sons, substance abuse during their marriage, and warning that something bad is going to happen if things don't change. Globe magazine reported the memoir really sent her over the edge, and Britney has been downhill ever since Federline released the book. The arrest came 2 months after Britney sold her music catalog to Primary Wave for approximately $200 million in December 2025, raising her net worth from $40 million to $100 million, but also following reports of a cash crisis and $721,000 in unpaid taxes to the IRS from 2021. The arrest came days after Britney received a permanent restraining order against a 51-year-old Louisiana man who had stalked Britney since 2013 and showed up at Britney's home in 2025. Britney Spears has a court date on May 4, 2026. Until then, Britney's Instagram remains deactivated, her treatment plan remains undeveloped, and her future remains uncertain.